Well, welcome back. Now we want to talk about something that happens every summer. It's a problem that occurs with schools and college campuses being mostly closed and then lots of folks being on vacation. Well, many of those folks usually donate blood through those organizations or their workplace, and now they're not around to do so. So once again, the call has gone out to donate blood because the fact is it saves lives every day. Thousands of pints of donated blood are needed every day in hospital emergency rooms. It's why volunteer Mike Marr rolled up his sleeves to donate blood at this Melville Blood Center right after he learned of the shortage.
It's the right thing to do. Someday I might need them, and hopefully somebody there to come to me.
In summertime, blood supplies can drop by as much as 30% because so many people are on vacation and schools and college campuses are closed.
Currently, the blood center has less than a 2-day blood supply of the O negative, which is the universal donor type.
Suffolk County Executive Steve Ballone called for donors to step forward as he pointed to 5-year-old cancer survivor Cassidy McCarthy.
This little girl was the beneficiary of 13 life-saving blood transfusions that helped her beat stage 4 kidney cancer.
Cassidy's father says his daughter would likely have died just after birth without the blood transfusions, allowing doctors to successfully treat her cancer.
Latest prognosis, she finished chemo May 22nd, and her last scans were negative.
Daniel McCarthy calls Cassidy his superhero for successfully and bravely battling so much physical trauma. She's now looking ahead to starting kindergarten in September with visions of one day becoming a doctor.
Because I want to help people make safe.
Cassidy's dad and her doctors say her inspiring struggle is evidence of the truly life-saving powers of donating blood. County officials say they'll hold numerous blood drives, and they're calling on major employers to do the same. And joining us now are Cassidy McCarthy and her mother, Jessica. Welcome to the show. And, you know, you might not be here without these blood donations. We're going to talk about that. Hey, you came in by train, right?
We did.
Have any problems?
No.
How was the ride, Cassidy?
Good.
Yeah, and the MTA will be glad to hear that.
Yes.
And so, Cassidy, you just started school, didn't you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you like it so far?
Good.
She's pretty good at something. We were finding out on the break. Your ABCs. Give us your ABCs.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you say
with me? Yeah, we
Good
should.
job.
Very good. All right. No, I always get mixed up between the K and the L. I don't know how it is, but that was really good, Cassidy.
Same thing with me.
And she can count pretty high, too. So, you know, the beauty of this is that she's here to go to school. Explain what happened, going even back to, in your case, where the blood donations helped save your life from when she was born. What happened?
So when she was born, I was in labor for over 48 hours. It was one delivery that it was kind of like, I know about it, but I don't remember too much
hazy,
about it.
right?
Yes. I was in the hospital with her, and they had given me a Pitocin to have her come out because my fluid levels were really low, and she was very big, and there was something going on with the placenta, and they wanted to induce me. And the doctor at the time didn't think that I was going to be able to have a regular birth, but one of the PAs wanted him to give me a chance because it was my first child. So I did, and he had told me that if I couldn't get her past my pelvic, then I'd have to have a cesarean. And I wound up getting her to my pelvic bone, but I couldn't get her out of it, and she went into distress.
Wow.
And
The worst fear anybody has.
yes. And
so now you're in emergency surgery?
So now I couldn't, at that point they couldn't do a cesarean because she was too far down. So they had to cut me open. They had to do an episiotomy, and they had to vacuum clean her. They had to vacuum her out. And
was her life threatened even by this? Yours
yes,
certainly was.
She came out lifeless. She came out completely.
Not breathing?
She was not breathing. She was not crying. She was not anything. The doctor left me and went to give her CPR and do chest compressions on her until the neuro doctor came in. And they kept saying, time of, time of, time of. And I just remember flipping out and saying, what is the matter with her? And then eventually they were able to get her. to
breathe.
Yes, to get her to breathe and to have her eyes come to. And
so right there, a miracle child.
Yes, she
what
was
do
a
you think
miracle
when you
child.
hear this story?
Good.
Yeah, because here you are doing your ABCs.
Yes.
So you really survived that, and then that's not even the end of what your family's been through. Because
No.
then she survives this incredibly difficult pregnancy. Both
Yes.
of your lives are threatened. And
Right.
blood transfusions were
Yes, I
critical
had to
in
have
both
blood
these cases.
transfusions then.
And then what happened last October? You went to an amusement park, right?
Right? We went on the Ladybug roller coaster
Yep.
ride.
What do you
And
remember about that ride?
And then last night, my tummy wasn't feeling good, and I was screaming and crying in my bed. And
While you're on the
then
ride?
I got
That night she was
surgery,
crying.
And then the doctor said I had a tumor in my belly.
Yes.
Cancer.
Yeah. So that day she was completely fine. She had no issues, no nothing. And it was that night where she was complaining of stomach pains, and I just thought she didn't want to go to bed. But
What were you thinking? You know, she'd been on this ride. I know your husband thought maybe she got jostled
yes,
somehow.
yeah, we thought maybe, all right, worst case scenario, she had a hernia. I was gonna have to have she was gonna have to have surgery for a hernia.
4 years old then.
Yes, never in my life did I thought the doctor was going to tell me, Miss McCarthy, your daughter has cancer. And then we found out once we got to Winthrop that she had stage 4 renal cancer.
Wow.
So it's been a long journey, but it's been a good journey. We've learned a lot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and now you've gotten some great news because they've been treating her nonstop, and that's got to be tough.
For 9
right?
months
Those
straight.
cancer treatments were no fun, right, Cassidy?
No, right?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
your
what would
hair's
you
coming
think-
back now, right?
And her hair's come back. So what would you think when you were going through this? Because everybody's so amazed at how brave you are. I mean, you're barely 5 years old, and yet you're just smiling away. What would you tell yourself when you had to go into the doctor and get these really tough treatments?
I got more like 6 needles.
You got more than 6 needles, right?
Yeah.
What would you tell anybody who have to have cancer? What would you tell them when they have to go into the doctor's office and get all the treatments to encourage them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many blood transfusions did she receive?
Oh, she's received, I believe, 13, maybe even more. She's had multiple blood transfusions. She's had platelet transfusions. So it's definitely important to donate.
What makes her so remarkably optimistic and upbeat? I mean, your family obviously is.
You know
part of
what?
that, too.
Throughout this whole entire thing, she's just constantly has a smile on her face. No matter what, she's just always very optimistic about it, and she's always had a smile on her face.
You can't go wrong. She sees herself now. Hey, Cassidy, your parents call you their superhero. What do you think
are a
of that?
superhero.
Who is your superhero? Do you have one?
Yes.
Who would that be?
That Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Hey, we all want to be Wonder Woman, right? And she's got the
Even
great...
my dog is crazy.
Even my dog is crazy.
Well, you're our superhero, and we want to thank you both for coming in. And we're so happy. Now they say she's cancer-free. The
She
chemo
is. She's cancer-free now.
cleared up and not having to receive any more treatments. And you can learn teach everybody else in your class your ABCs.
Yes, right?
Cassidy and Jessica McCarthy, thank you so much for coming in. We're so proud of you both, and we're with you all the way.
Thank you.